This is a Royal Rumble special episode. And as Tim talked about, we're trying to get more listeners, more community involvement. So Justin, first off, thank you for kind of being our test pilot here, as you've obviously seen our technical difficulties. But let's get into the 2021 Royal Rumble. We will go through match by match, what our predictions are, who the matches are, things of that nature. But before we get to that point, I guess I will yield my time to the floor. What do you think about this 2021 Royal Rumble? No real fans will be in attendance. It's during a pandemic. Your thoughts on what this event might be and will maybe potentially look like?
I think it's going to look like every other WWE show we've had since WrestleMania. I mean, that does kind of suck because this is the one event that's really built around the live experience or the crowd reaction to where, like, imagine when AJ Styles debuted in WWE, there was nothing. And it was just like a TNA house show. I mean, it was just like there was nobody there. So I'm very curious to see what we're actually going to see. I mean, I don't get to watch WWE a whole hell of a lot, but I was still planning on watching the Royal Rumble because it is kind of tradition, and in the simple just aspect of there being a 30-man over-the-top battle royal where people come out in intervals, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Well, yeah, it can be an exciting match without knowing anything about it. You literally can take somebody who's never even watched wrestling, or especially somebody who used to but hasn't in a while, place them in front of the Royal Rumble, and they're going to get it, right? They may have questions about the characters and all that kind of stuff, but there is no story necessarily that's going to hinder their enjoyment of that show. They may not get some of the nuance or whatever, but it is, so you can always come back to it. It is as American as apple pie, and I don't know what else is American,
Bald eagles.
Racism. But anyway, it's there. It's always there. It will always kind of warm your heart. It's rarely ever super bad that we're like, this was absolutely terrible. That has happened.
Finishes have been terrible.
Help. Yes, finishes have been terrible, but usually you were entertained overall by the show.
Right.
I'm sure somebody's got in 1997, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think we'll enjoy the show when it's done. They have a unique opportunity to tell interesting stories that they don't tell when there is a crowd. Sometimes the crowd limitation hinders some things, where we've talked about Roman Reigns can get real quiet. Just other little things. So, and they can utilize different angles in different parts of the arena, maybe that we haven't grown accustomed to because of this. So maybe we'll get something neat, but you're right. I think it's not going to be the Undertaker just lost, everything is shocked, there's a hush over the crowd kind of a thing. Yeah, that's going to be lost, and that's unfortunate.
I'm actually pretty excited about this year's Royal Rumble, not only to see what they're going to do with added crowd noise. I imagine we're going to get a piped in 10-1 countdown for each participant that comes into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But also I'm interested to see what the structure of a match will look like with this being the first Royal Rumble since Pat Patterson's passed away. I understand he's probably taken a step back before he passed away of doing the detailed number 3 is going to be this person, number 4 is going to be that person. I understand he's probably retired from that many years before he passed away. However, now this is the first opportunity WWE can maybe pay homage to Pat Patterson, doing some, I don't know exactly what would be like his dusty finish in a Royal Rumble, but maybe they do something to where then later, as the internet is always undefeated, did you know that the elimination of number 7 and the way it happened was because that's how Pat Patterson always liked it? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. Yeah. So I'm interested to see maybe little wrinkles like that. And then to your guys' point about the Royal Rumble, my favorite aspect of it is these little mini stories or genesis of new stories that come from the Royal Rumble. I think back to 1990 when the first time you saw Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan realize that they're in the same ring together and they're about to lock horns, right? I think of 2018 when they had this out of the blue aggression era. I think it was John Cena, Rey Mysterio and was it Randy Orton? And then on the other side, it was Finn Balor and Roman Reigns and Nakamura. And you're like, oh, it's the new school versus the old school. And it was just a storyline that you never thought of going into the match. So those are my favorite aspects of the Royal Rumble. So yeah, I'm very excited. I don't know exactly what it'll look like, but it's going to look like something because we're going to get to it because time doesn't stop.